Entering the Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings. Today, the Open Championship. Best bets, the gold, the silver, the bronze to get you ready for maybe some of the larger wagers that you want to make, or maybe even things to fade. Who knows what you do with this information? That is up to you. I will be wasting money on my three bets. Maybe Cam and Rob can talk me into some of their favorites. The Listeners League is almost full. If you want to get your spot, the link is down in the description. Remember to smash the like and sub to Mayo Media Network. And I want to bring in Cam and Rob, who are both playing through a little bit of pain. Cam, how you feeling, buddy? I'm glad you finally got your surgery, but post-surgery is never any fun, is it?
No, I thought it was going to be a piece of cake. Like when listen to my doctor's name too. You're not even going to believe this shit. His name is Lancelot, like Robin Hood style, like tin can. Great doctor though. He was actually really cool with me. Remember, I'm in the gown. He's like, strip it. They get a marker, ding, 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 draw a little box. And next thing you know, I hit the gas and, the party was over. I woke up. I go, this is a piece of cake, Pat. And then I realized the drugs wore off. Then things got real.
Oh, that's devastating. But you're feeling good enough to make some picks for the Open, though.
I was going to show you guys this thing, but that's probably a really bad idea. But it's pretty gross.
You can see, we can see it. If you're comfortable showing us, I'm comfortable looking at it.
I don't know, man. Do you think we should do that later on? Let's just get the picks going, and then maybe I'll loosen up.
I'm gonna say I can blur it out if it's not so. If it's NC-17, I can blur that out.
I have a soft
look at that
stomach
thing.
when it comes to
Whoa,
this stuff.
boy.
Wow. Jesus. Oh God. Okay.
Look at that, and I'm doing fucking shows.
Oh, Cam.
See that bruise? And it's basically like somebody's lips and you stapled them. Ding, 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 ding. I got 12 staples in there. And see that bruise? That thing's the size of a fucking country. It's huge. Thank God it's not on my ball sack yet, but it's getting closer.
Did they give you good meds at least?
Hey, this is the thing about doctors. You ask them for Oxy, you might get hooked. So what, you're giving me Tylenol? Yeah, I'm sure that works. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, these guys, like, they have to understand something. Not everyone's going to get hooked on drugs, but when you have like people like ripping out stuff from your stomach, like I want the best drugs possible. I'm just saying, like, thank God my girlfriend's a pharmacy. She hooked me up with some stuff.
Excellent.
If they don't give you the good drugs, then people just resort to self-medicating anyways. It could get even more dangerous that way.
Great call, Pizzola. Like, that's the thing, right? The guys, they're giving me Tylenols. Like, it's basically like not even the ones with codeine. Like, I'm just like, okay. Like, this is doing nothing. But anyway, these doctors, we're afraid.
Rob is suffering from something else, not quite as intense as Cam is right now. But, Rob, have you recovered from your back nine gag at the Mini Putt World Championships?
I was wondering where this was going. So first and foremost, no, I haven't recovered from that. When I get into the competition and like things that I think I'm good at, like mini golf, which by the way, everyone on earth thinks that they're good at mini golf, it is really depressing when you end up losing in that fashion. Those stupid volcano holes that they have in mini golf where you have to like make the perfect putt or else it's just going to come down the other side. I hate stuff like that. But Pat, I have not recovered. I actually still have the scorecards here next to me that I look at every day as a reminder of my failure and to practice my putting more. It was a
You were leading?
I don't think I think I was leading after one, and I think that was the only time I led the entire match. Rufus is a better putter than me. I don't know why the odds made me favored. Everyone was betting me to win like I'm some extraordinary putter. The guy's like an 8 handicap. I'm an 18. People are betting me. But I did win the practice round, and I think that got a lot of people excited. Unfortunately, the real round, I felt the pressure, and it was a big time gag job. Basically, Xander final round type of stuff.
Yeah, you're Shoffley.
Yes.
From 1 to T42.
So did it like enlighten you at all to the struggles that maybe some of these golfers go through when they're trying to actually close out, or you hear the great like, oh man, he's having such a great, he loves links courses and he's playing great in these practice rounds. Maybe that doesn't actually mean anything.
Yeah, I mean, I've always felt that way. I think that there's like people that who are just anti-clutch. right? Who just, when they get into the big moments, they're going to feel the pressure and they're going to cave. It was like Kirk Cousins primetime for years, right? It's like, okay, great quarterback when he's playing Sunday at 1 p.m., throw him under the lights, and all of a sudden the guy can't throw a pass anymore. Tony Romo, same thing. So I've always believed in that. Me personally, I know that I'm anti-clutch. Like as soon as you put pressure on me in any situation, I automatically fear the worst instead of trusting in my abilities. I played the entire 18 of mini golf like thinking about failure and what will happen if I miss this putt. It's not a good way to play. So I do believe in that stuff, Pat.
All right, well, let's get to the gold picks. The gold pick I have for the people out there is one of you, because I'm giving one of you $2,000 if you enter the Mayo Media Draw. If you've already smashed a like and subbed to Mayo Media Network on YouTube, boom, you get 5 ballots in the draw. That's easy stuff. 10 ballots goes to anyone who subscribes or has previously subscribed to the Mayo Media newsletter. That's completely free. That's down in the description. The big one, 15 apiece. Subscribe, rate, and review 5 stars, the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast on Apple Podcasts, or rate it 5 stars, subscribe, and download on Spotify Podcasts. You can do both if you want to and get 30 quick ballots into the draw for $2,000. And anytime that you share the show around or any of my tweets around or Facebook posts, whatever it might be this week, that's 1 ballot per share, unlimited, by the way, that you get into that draw. I'll be announcing the winner with Jeff on Monday's recap show, so please go do that now. The actual gold pick that I have this week, I'm going with a Kiwi Cam. Daniel Hillier, plus 220, top 40. He's on a run on the European Tour right now, and he was actually playing quite well at the Scottish Open until the very final day, ended up coming T54, but he still ended up top 10 in ball striking for the week. Off the tee and approach, both top 10. Can't really chip or putt, which is not great, but if we can get like an okay putting week from him at Royal Liverpool, I mean, he won the Betfred British Masters. He was 3rd before that. He was 5th 3 weeks before that. He has 1 miscut in between, but it just seems like because no one knows who he is on this side of the pond, that we're getting pretty juicy odds. And plus 220 for a top 40, I think is actually pretty good.
It's amazing. This guy, if you watch golf, this guy's actually on a heater. Hey, Pat, do you know I had Robert McIntyre 90-1 to win last week? That was fun. Thanks, Rory. First time he ever hits like a couple bombs. Like, hey, fuck off. Anyway, I actually cashed out some of it, but it could have been real sweet. No, but people don't know, Pat, there's a lot of these guys like on the European tour. He's on a heater. Like Yannick Paul's like one of those guys. He could play well. Like I agree with you. I think that's a great pick. For top 40, getting that kind of number, that's fantastic.
Yeah, maybe we can come up with some sort of top 40 parlay by the end of the show. That would be fun if you guys have
actually have one.
You have one? Rob, do you have a top 40 or is it all nationality props? Racist Rob wants to separate everyone by ethnicity.
No. It was Cam with all
that's
nationality
me who did that,
props.
and I'm done with that now. I got so many tricks up my sleeve. I'm a new magician, man. I got tricks. The other guy, he's fired. That shit was so... Oh, yeah. Hey, everybody. You like Victor Perez, top Frenchman? Oh, dead last. I'm fucking done with that shit. I got other stuff, Pat, that you're really going to like, though. Really different angles I'm taking this week.
Well, I like that. But, Rob, what's your gold pick?
All right. This is going to be very similar to the last time we did this, where I'm always like looking for ways that I could play Scheffler.
Oh, I knew it. I was just going to say Scheffler. Hey, everybody, Scheffler.
I bet him to win.
Again.
I bet him to win.
Guy's
so
amazing.
That's my bet.
I did bet him to win as well, but I don't want to give out the, I want to go for some shorter odds as the gold pick, right? I don't want to. Anyways, I went to bed last night. Scheffler was minus 110, top 10. He's now minus 140. So I had to scratch that off the board. I'm going to do a pivot here, and I'm going to take that the winner is from the USA at plus 120.
It's a good bet.
I think this is closer to 50-50. I went through the field, summed up like roughly what I think the probabilities are. And I get, you look at the history at the Open Championship. I think it's only 4 of the last 13 years that an American has won. But Scheffler is a machine. I think he's very live and honestly still undervalued in pretty much every tournament he plays when you consider his run of form. But I actually like a lot of the other top American guys. I always like Koepka at majors. Fowler is in good form. Maybe he peaked a little bit a couple weeks ago, but I think he's still very much in the mix. Spieth has missed like 3 of the past 5 cuts, but you look at the track record at the Open, the way he plays these link style courses, you have Everyone else that's in the mix, Morikawa, obviously, who's won before. Cantley and Shoffley. I know you'll say, Pat, about them like not winning, but they do have a small percentage chance of winning. I really like the field for the US that's in here right now. So plus 120, I like those odds. I think you should be closer to a pick 'em. And again, it's just another way that I can find a way to bet on Scheffler in some capacity.
Well, although I don't think that Xander's going to win. I'm looking at the fantasynational.com 1,000 simulations of the tournament right now. And if you go to fantasynational.com/Mayo, you can get yourself 20% off at the Open this week and maybe get some Barracuda, the Cuda, in your life too. But Xander Schauffele wins the most in the 1,000 simulations with 71 out of 1,000, which would make him 14-1 by this probability. I'm not going to trust the computer on this one, though, because that's not factored.
He needs to go get some new microchips because that's fucking stupid. This guy's got, like, you watch Xander Schauffele play? I don't care if he's got a lead going into Sunday. He ain't winning this damn tournament. If he wins, I'll jump through a window.
Don't get yourself held to that. You don't want to reopen your wound.
Pat.
Yeah, your wound.
You're right. Actually, I got a lot of problems.
Well, I think he's already committed. I think you've already committed to jumping through a window, so I'll hold you to that one.
Okay, it better be thin pain.
Well,
not like really thick.
Me and Pat get to select the window. I think would be fair.
Okay, so Cam, you have new angles. This is the Open Championship. Let's hear them.
Well, I did 8 guys to make the cut, 7, 6, whatever. Let's just go with the one I got here. Nice and easy. What do we got here? Hold on, just let me scroll. Scrolling. Oh, here we go. Plus 124 to make the cut parlay. Scheffler, Smith, Rahm, Koepka, Hatton. I also did one adding Morikawa and Fox for a 7-banger. But it pays plus 124. Scheffler, Rahm, Smith, Hatton, Koepka. Let's go. Make the cut.
I like it. I don't like to normally go like when I play to make the cut parlays just because I want them to pay out so much money. That I usually go like I don't like to put like what's Scheffler to make the cut like minus 700 or something.
Yeah, you're right. I should have like dug a little bit deeper. More Ryan Foxes and a couple other dudes like maybe Bjork.
Bjork. There we go.
Yeah, I like Bjork.
Yeah, Scheffler's minus 900 to make the cut this week. So, can we? Yeah, Fox is minus 200. So what if let's try to make one up here on the fly? A 4-banger to make the cut. Maybe we can get it to pay around 10-1. See if that can work out for us.
This is gold / fool's gold cubics or whatever. It's like let's split it in half. Let's do one with more value. Okay, Pat. I want Ryan Fox in it.
Okay, one sec here. Fox, Keska the Foxe. There we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo. Yeah. Colin Morikawa.
Morikawa's minus 350.
Mm-hmm. And let's go for a couple other guys. Adam Scott.
Okay. Adam Scott is minus 225.
And you guys can select the last one.
Bryson.
No.
Why? Bryson's going to be good this week.
I don't care.
I think so, too.
No, it's personal. No.
Okay.
Hatton, you guys tell me. Hatton or Smith or Koepka?
Why not
Shane Lowry?
Why not Robert McIntyre?
Bobby Mack.
What, the guy who like almost won for me last week?
Yeah.
This would come full circle.
How about,
almost won for him last week, and he's the guy that loses for Cam this week.
Exactly.
You know what?
Okay, how about Corey Connors?
No. I'll take McIntyre, please.
Okay, so
Thanks.
McIntyre at minus 250. So 4-leg, Fox, Morikawa, Scott, and McIntyre pays plus 290.
Ding dong for a 4-banger.
Yeah.
Let's roll.
So I'm going to roll one out here for you.
Thank you.
Boy, this is going to be a lot of fun. Let's see here. Where's Kurt Kitayama at? There he is.
Put Patrick Harrington in one, too. I think this guy actually could be in contention.
The site where I'm trying to parlay to make the cut, they don't actually have him listed as one of the options.
Of course they don't.
So that's no fun.
Sneaky.
It's tough.
That's
All right,
dirty,
so I have a 4-banger that pays plus 576. It is Corey Connors, Denny McCarthy, Byung-Hun An, and Kurt Kitayama.
It's funny you mentioned that, Pat. For my top 40 parlay, I have Lingmerth, take me to your Lingmerth, on Bjork and Ramsey. It pays a shitload.
I would imagine. Wait till I end up with like a Hillier, Ewan McPherson, Matthew Southgate top 40 parlay. And then
Ewan McPherson's playing well, buddy.
I know
that guy's
he is.
actually got game. So
I like.
Don't worry about the Scots. Richie Ramsey was like 300 to 1. He played pretty well last week too.
Yeah,
no respect for Scotland. None.
I mean, they're liking Bobby Mack. Bobby Mack is like a bigger favorite than Keegan Bradley, who just won an elevated event on the PGA Tour.
Who gives a shit? I'd take Bobby Mack over Keegan Bradley at Hoylake. Damn right I will. Don't you? Well, you like Keegan Bradley this week?
I don't know. He plays terrible. But it's funny that you have a guy who's won a major. He's won like 3 times in the past year. And all of a sudden, Bobby Mack's better than him. It's just kind of funny.
But Bobby Mack knows these courses. That's the thing. And Keegan Bradley, not so much. That's why. And Bobby Mack's a good golfer.
Well, it's unfortunate because Keegan's really only good in the Northeast. So this isn't in the Northeast of Britain. It's in like, the mid-Southwest or something like that. So I wonder if geographically that works out regardless of the country that he's in.
The White Cliffs of Dover?
Yeah, like if he played in Newfoundland, he'd win the Canadian Open.
Yeah.
I guess if he played here, he'd probably do that too. So
you're right. Keegan Bradley, they put him on the radar in Halifax. He'd crush.
Yeah, get him out to Cabot and he'll be fine. So, Rob, silver picks for you, sir.
I'm gonna go to a 3-ball matchup here.
You love 3-ball matchups.
You know what? I just like betting, Pat. It doesn't really matter what it is, but yeah, there's one in particular that stands out to me because I don't want to crap on the other 2 guys, but one of them is Bobby Mack that I'll be betting against. The other is Minwoo Lee. I like both of them, but Tony Finau's in that group. So they've priced Tony Finau at plus 160, and I like him a lot at that price. That's nothing against the other 2 guys, but
you're ripping Minwoo Lee and Bob McIntyre who finished second last week. I don't know about that, Pizzola.
I'm not ripping them. I'm just betting against them because I think that the market has overcorrected on these guys. Okay. I mean, I think you look at Tony Finau. Open Championship, T28 or better, last 6 starts there. I know he's not playing his best golf so far this season, but I think now that there's like this correction, and I would never see Finau listed in a 3-ball matchup against Minwoo Lee and Robert McIntyre. That's not to say that they're terrible golfers by any stretch of the imagination, but I looked at that field. I said, well, I mean, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Finau at plus 160. I think he's a much better golfer, not excluding the chances of everyone else, either of those other guys winning. Minwoo Lee's a little bit concerning because he has like that low ball flight, which I think could really help in the wind. He can also bomb it. I like him generally speaking. I think he's going to break through at some point or another, but Finau to me has the track record, and I think plus 160 is a bargain with him in this 3-ball.
Okay. I like Finau for DraftKings purposes. I don't know if I can get any like actual money behind him because I agree with you. He's not playing great, but the ball striking is still pretty good. And we just see this. I mean, the Spieth was the test case, Cam, for this for years. Like Spieth was awesome. Of course, he was going to play well everywhere. But then he goes into the tank and he sucks. But where's the one place where he still continuously plays well? Links tracks at Open Championships. Finau's kind of the lesser version of that right now. But he's playing better than Spieth was when Spieth was playing terrible.
Agreed. Rob, by the way, I didn't mean to mock you. I had Scheffler top 5 and top 10 too, but I got him even at top 10.
Yeah.
I don't want to have the same bets, but
no, it's a great bet.
If we're going to add graphite, titanium, aluminum, or fucking tungsten, extra minerals, maybe one date, Pat, we should just do like 6, but I know I say this every time. You guys probably want to punch me in the face. It's just really hard to narrow it down to 3. Do you want a silver?
Yeah, I'll take a silver. I did find the Patty Harrington to make the cut, by the way. It's minus 163. That's not bad.
Sold. I don't care about the juice. Patty Harrington's like, I think he could be on like page 2. I think he's a very, very underrated golfer. Let's go, Pat. You're going to love this one too with the European guys that get no respect. Ryan Fox, top 30, plus 175. Is anybody watching this guy almost crack the top 10 in contention all the time? This guy's a shooter, man. Top 30 plus 175. I think this guy can actually win this tournament. I'm going to take Ryan Fox, and I think he's a great golfer, and I'm getting top 30 at almost 2-1. Sign me up.
He has 11 top 30s this year. He's actually been very, very consistent at finishing top 30 relative to everyone else who's priced in the same range as him. That was another one I was looking at, Cam. So I'm on the same page as you.
Yes.
He
nice
is
to
one
our
of
databases check out.
Yeah, I released. I've been making notes about the Open now for like a few months or so, and I dumped them all. I didn't know where to use them. If I didn't use them in my article, where the hell else was I going to use them? So I made like a bit of a Twitter thread out of it last night of just basically a notes dump. And he was the one that I was just kind of surprised and kind of forgot about. That there are 18 players? Yeah, 18 players have made the cut in all of the majors so far this season, and he is one of them. Keith Mitchell is also one of them, but he's not in this tournament.
He's at the Barracuda.
He is. He's the favorite. He's the favorite in Reno. So my silver pick, he's never played in the Open Championship before, which is kind of terrifying. But I feel good because Morikawa was able to win in his first trip. And I just try to think about the guys that can do really well at this course and what we've broken it down to. Now, I do have an outright bet on him to win, plus the top 8 each way that goes along with it. But top 20 for Denny McPutts, plus 280. To come inside the top 20. Denny is playing the best golf of his career right now. Elevated field, major championships, doesn't matter. 3 top 10s in his past 4 starts. The other was a top 20 at the U.S. Open. And although the U.S. Open was a bit easier than maybe a lot of people thought, except for Cust, who kind of nailed it on that one, that it still wasn't a great course for Denny because you had to be able to hit the ball so far, and he just doesn't have that kind of power off the tee. What he specializes in is accuracy and putting. And at Hoylake, with these internal OBs all over the place, potentially wind coming, if he just keeps the ball in the fairway and putts like he normally does, he's going to come inside the top 10. So top 20 at almost 3-1, I like it a lot.
Yep, I'm with you there. I wish he had played the Scottish last week, honestly, just so we could have seen a little bit on these types of tracks. But the consistency is there. I agree with you, Pat. I mean, I don't know that he necessarily has the upside, but you're betting top 20, which is one of the bets where you're looking for a guy that's been a little bit more consistent recently. I like that one as well. So I'm actually going to bet that right now while we're doing the video because it excites me a little bit having more action this week.
Yeah, in terms of top 20 finishes, he's finished outside the top 20 twice in his past 7-8 starts. And those are all good events that he's been playing.
Yep.
And I don't like Denny McCarthy, but I'm just looking at it and I'm thinking about, because everyone loves Brian Harman this week, but Denny's a better player than Brian Harman right now. And they're kind of the same.
Harman played well for 3 rounds, and then when the wind came, he was absolutely toast, like Eric Cole.
Yeah.
I forgot about Eric Cole. You know who's actually like kind of sneaky? Who's kind of sneaky this week? And when I looked at the simulator, I was actually stunned to see his name up as high as it was. Is Ben Griffin? I just never really had a feel for him for this week.
Nor did I.
But it just all of a sudden, there's Ben Griffin. He's like, in terms of win probability by the simulator, he's by like Tyrrell Hatton, who's not super high up, but I just thought that was interesting. He was top 25 last week at the Scottish too.
Not sneaky, Pat, but you mentioned him already. I really think Bryson is like, has a legit shot this week. I know Cam hates him, but Bryson to me is the guy that like is kind of just flying under the radar right now.
I don't see why. I get why people. I mean, I like Bryson. I think he's a very polarizing player. I just find him wildly entertaining, just like I do with Patrick Reed. And I like Patrick Reed this week too. But if you just go look at Bryson's performances, basically since he started dropping the weight again, since St. Andrews last year, outside of the Masters, because Augusta is just going to give him a lot of problems. As we've seen, basically since he called it a par 67, he's been terrible at Augusta National. But he was 20th at the U.S. Open. He was 4th at the PGA Championship. He was 8th at the Open Championship. And even when you start scanning some of his live results recently, like 5th, 9th, 2nd, 11th, like he's been kind of closer to the guy that was a top 5 player in the world than the guy that we saw for like a year and a half when he couldn't get it out of his own fucking way.
Yeah.
I think just the only concern I have is with this type of course where you get like the rocky terrain and like a lot of the uneven lies is those stupid wedges that are as long as 7 irons, basically. I don't know how he fares on these types of like uneven terrain courses, but consistently, I think over the course of his career, it hasn't been super great.
Well, I think it depends on how you look at it. Like Augusta being one thing, Hoylake is way flatter than any of the other Open Championship venues. St. Andrews is probably like the hilliest, and he played really well there a year ago. And when he got his win, his first ever win on the PGA Tour, it was at TPC Deer Run, which is just historically a course that has a lot of uneven lies on it.
There you go. You shut me up, put me in my place.
Now he's going to be the worst guy in the field. DFL Bryson,
Miscut.
156th.
No, that's Victor Perez.
The hardest thing with Bryson is I just don't think that he's any good in the wind, although it doesn't seem like there's going to be a ton of wind in the forecast. One thing that I appreciate about him, and listen, it's not going to play firm and fast like when Tiger won in 06 and he could hit 5-iron or 2-iron or wherever the hell he wanted to hit off every tee. The difference is Bryson's not afraid to do something like that. Like, he will put his driver away, but he also hits his 3-iron fucking 300 yards. So it doesn't really matter that he will do that in this tournament if it does help him out. Like, for as much as, people call him a scientist and all this stuff and all the stuff he tried to do to his body, his game management and his preparation is always top notch.
No, and another thing too that can't be overlooked. This is the type of course where you could play like 2 or 3 different clubs and you just got to pick the right one. And that's one thing I'll give Bryson DeChambeau credit for. And you said it, Pat, and he's long. So it doesn't matter. Like, other guys are going, like, his mind, the way he works, it's like, that's the beautiful thing I love about links golf. You don't always have to hit the same club. There's so many ways to get it around there, and just, you have to be comfortable with the club that you select. And I think Bryson DeChambeau is one of those guys that could actually do that. I think he's kind of a gearbox with some of the things that he says, but I'm not going to take anything away from, his recent form.
Yeah, just get him off CNN interviews and get him back on the golf course and we'll be fine, I think.
Correct.
So those were the silvers. How about the bronzes for this week? I'll kick this one off. I got a top 30 wager. So I got a top 40, a top 20, and a top 30. I messed around with it, but I thought that I wanted to make all of mine at least 2-1, and this one is exactly 2-1. Byun Han An.
Yes!
2-1 to finish inside of the top 30. I think we get him back to these slower greens. I think that kind of mitigates how terrible he is in terms of putting. But last week at the Scottish, obviously he qualified for this tournament. But it's not just based on 1 week of good play. He's been one of the best drivers of the ball all season long. It's really reignited his career in a weird way after he had to drop down to the Corn Ferry Tour, get his card back. And he's really made an impact this year. No super high finishes yet, but his driving is the strength of his game. He's very good around the greens. And I think that people forget, like, we thought that he was going to be an amazing player. He has a lot of Euro Tour experience. He won at Wentworth years ago. I believe that was him. Not Jun Hyun. Maybe I'm getting that wrong now. Now I'll feel like an absolute goober if that's not true. But I thought that he won at Wentworth. Which is not a links track, but it's also in Britain. Like, he just has a lot of experience over in these places where a lot of these other players don't. And even I believe in the 2014 Open Championship, he actually played quite well too.
Yes, he did.
Did he?
Yes.
Enlighten me on that one. I
was watching Golf Channel. They had an interview with him and stuff like that at Hoy Lake. He actually played really well here. Let's get the result, but I think it was like inside the top 10 or 20. Like, he played great.
He was 26th that year.
Okay.
And taking a look at his Open Champion, no, it's fine.
Close.
His Open Championship, 26th in 2021, 32nd, 51st, 59th, 26th. He has 2 missed cuts in there, but outside of the year that he, kind of won and came onto the scene on the PGA Tour, it's probably the best golf he's been playing in a really long time. The most consistent golf that he's been playing. So I like Ben An this week.
I think he can finish top 10.
That's a bit much.
Is it?
He can't putt. That's a real problem.
Can he win?
No.
Is he worth a sprinkle?
He won at Wentworth in 2015. So I was right on that.
Okay.
Minus 21.
Anyway, I love your pick. I'm going to take him for top 30 and top 40 and top 20.
Yeah, it's sort of like the Brooks stuff, where when we look at it, that Brooks gets a lot of credit, Rob, because obviously he's great in major championships. He's never won the Open Championship. He has the 3 U.S. and 2 PGA, or 3 PGA and 2 U.S., whatever it is. But when it comes to links golf or European golf, like, hey, he played on the Challenge Tour. He played on the European Tour before he came over, which is absolutely true, which I do think is a benefit to him. But he gets a lot of credit for that. But it seems like anyone else who did that doesn't get any credit, and Ben An is one of those guys. Like, he has a win on the Challenge Tour. He has a win on the European Tour. This is where he played before he came over to the USA. I think that could be an advantage for him.
Well said.
I think generally speaking, people are more fixated on the guys who are at the top of the odds board, right? And those guys will get the benefit of the doubt. If they've had something in their past history that would make them a better candidate to win here, people are trying to separate those guys that are at the top of the field from one another, whereas the guys that are further down, like Byun Hyun An, probably don't get that, because the average person is just like not really fixated on that, or it's not the greatest media story or something like that. So I get your point. I think there's a lot of like hidden gems to uncover with a lot of these people. And you look at like the way golf tournaments are set up and how the odds boards work, like you get these groups of people like that and just have, 20 guys that are 60-1. How do you separate one from the other? Well, you got to start digging deep and finding stuff like that. So I think that's a good angle, Pat. Like I'm a little bit concerned about, I think prior to the third at the Scottish, he had a couple missed cuts and like a T50 or something like that. Because I remember looking at Ann yesterday, but he was on the radar. I just kind of soured on him because of some recent play.
Yeah, he had a nice little run after the Wells Fargo. Listen, he can always putt himself out of a tournament. And that's something that, even like I said, with Daniel Hillier, it's something that he can do as well. Hell, Scotty Scheffler puts himself out of wins. He doesn't put himself out of tournaments, but he puts himself out of wins. That's why it's nice to have like betting on Denny, although watch this be the week Denny can't putt. But just having that guy seems so safe. But when you take a look at Ann, he was incredible to start the year. I think he made his first, to open 2023, he made 7 cuts in a row, peaking at the Valero, had a 6th place finish. He had a 3rd place last week at the Genesis. Previous to that, like you mentioned, 51st at John Deere, miscut through Detroit following the U.S. Open. But before that, top 25, top 20 for him at Memorial, at Charles Schwab, at the Byron Nelson. Like, he's going to be around, and the driving hasn't gone away. The approach play can be shitty, but it's always driving and chipping are always in the positive, regardless of the field that he's going to be in. And while approach play is going to make you win this tournament, average approach play won't take you out of this tournament in terms of missing cuts. Like if you lose 5 strokes in 2 rounds, obviously you're going to miss the cut. So if you can just keep that around neutral, where he's been around all year, gain off the tee, gain around the greens, and pray he doesn't putt himself out of the tournament, I think he'll be firmly in the mix. He'll be that guy that you see at the very bottom of like the mid-tier of the second page of the leaderboard, or even if he does like start sniffing contention at some point, he'll be the name that gets bumped for the name that everyone knows.
Makes sense to me. I follow. I get that logic. Like, I'm listen. For me, this tournament, and we talked about it last time we did this. I honestly have no idea what's gonna win. Typically speaking, you go into a major, you go into the U.S. Open, you look at like the course history and the track, and you're like, these guys pop because they do this really well. I really think it's gonna take an all-around game to win this week. And like a lot of these guys just have good all around games, and then it's whoever gets hot or lucky with the putter. And if for Hyun-An, your concern is the putter, I mean, who knows? It's like 4 rounds. You could easily be fine for one given week, and then all of a sudden he finds himself in contention. So for this week, I found it incredibly challenging to try to separate these guys because I just don't think that there's like a dominant style of play at this course.
I would tend to agree with that. I also cooked up an 8-leg to make the cut parlay, a 9-leg and a 10-leg, which we can go over a little bit later on. But Cam, you have a bronze selection from the Bronze Age. You have a to make the cut parlay, a Ryan Fox top 30. What are you adding to the podium?
I also have a top 40 parlay, but that's lottery ticket shit. So I'm going to ask you guys, do you prefer Adam Scott top 40 plus 125 or Colin Morikawa top 20 plus 140?
Morikawa
For me too.
Sold. I think Colin Morikawa might win this week.
Me too.
I'm betting him outright.
Me too.
Give me him top 20. I'm going to do a top 10 too, but the safe plus 140 for a top 20. I love Mork this week. Falling under the radar. Nanu. I think everything's going to be okay with him. I think, hey, what's his problem, guys? He hasn't putted well. What does Links Golf, what does it even out? Putting. Ball striking, top of the food chain. Driving, top of the top. This that's the thing. And if he gets hot, which he did when he won the Open Championship, he will be there at the end with maybe another claret jug. Give me Colin Morikawa, top 40, guys. Let's rock.
He also has the issue that he can't chip. And although when he won, he did. Like, it's really weird how good he can be. Like, when you go and look at his wins. Like, when I bet on him all the time. I'm betting on him this week.
Remember at Harding Park, Pat? That was one of the best, like, hybrids off the tee. What was that where he knocked it right on the green? Like, two...
Yeah,
what
he
shot-
he hit driver on number, I believe it was 15. Drove
Yes.
the green, made the eagle. Yeah, he
Beautiful.
chipped in that final round too. Like he just knew the contours of that course so well. And then he gets to the Open Championship. No one wants to bet him because he talked about how much he hates the Scottish Open, can't figure out the turf over in Scotland. Then all of a sudden he's winning the Open Championship, and like he's hitting the fescue, chipping it to 8 feet, and like walking in par putts. When I bet on him, he hits it to 2 feet and misses 3 putts from there. Like it's absolutely insane. And you're gonna know pretty quickly which Colin Morikawa you're gonna get for the week. Like I wouldn't throw him into a make the cut parlay. Absolutely not. I think of all of like the very top end guys, like he is so volatile because the putter can get so bad and he can't chip like Scotty can chip, so he can't bail himself out. Like the worst case scenario for Scotty is if his irons are off a little bit, he just, bumps and runs it to 2 feet and goes and knocks in the putt. That's not that big of a deal. If Morikawa is missing with his irons, it's like, oh God, he's left himself 13 feet for par and he might 3-putt from there. And then he's
I'm
absolutely
going to tell you,
cooked.
Pat, out of the chalk, these are two guys that I think might miss the cut. Excuse me. Cantlay and Spieth.
Why Spieth? Just because he missed the cut last week?
He's just not in good form.
Yeah.
I mean, is he not in good form? He's either in
Okay, sorry.
he's either
you're right. That statement's not totally true. He's so erratic.
yes.
That's the whole thing. He's just one of those guys. You very similar to Morikawa, actually. I just don't feel Jordan's in his little groove over this time. I don't know. That's just my opinion. It's not, but you're right. He's actually had a lot of great results this year. I'm just worried about him this week. Like I think he's a guy that might miss the cut. That's all I'm saying.
He came 5th at Memorial following a missed cut. And then he missed the cut at the U.S. Open. Then he missed the cut last week in Scotland. Like, he just hasn't played a lot of golf. But if you go look at his finishes, you're right. They're like a lot of missed cuts and a lot of top 10s.
You're damn right.
So, yeah. Rob, close this out. Close out my grid here with your bronze pick.
Pre-hernia, Cam was all over the nationality props. Post-hernia, he doesn't want to touch them, but I'm gonna give an honorary nationality prop for this week. I'm going to the top Swede, and I'm taking Henrik Stenson at plus 300. And maybe a gut feel play more than anything, because
Who's he got to beat? Noren and Norman?
And your boy, Lingmerth.
And Lingmerth.
Lingmerth. Watch out for Lingmerth. That's the guy that's going to cause problems, I think.
I'm going to say, I like Bjork. I like Bjork plus 225.
I like Bjork.
Bjork's been awesome.
He is good.
So I kind of just made a case against the other three. And like honestly, again, so Stenson's 3-1 here. Noren's the favorite at 2-1. And frankly, I mean, Noren's like number 167 off the tee this year. He's borderline top 100 in strokes gained approach. I don't think he has the game that's suited to really contending here or playing well here, generally speaking. Bjork, I like. I mean, he's going into last week, he had 4 straight top 10s, but he's 0-4 at the Open and making cuts. I think that there's a possibility he just falls off here. And Lingmerth, the same thing. Okay, tied for 3rd last week. Prior to that, he missed 7 straight cuts. Like, it's not like he's in great form or anything like that. Stenson's played a lot better recently. 2 top 10s in his last 3 live starts. Obviously has success at the Open, having won it in 2013. 2 for 2 in cuts made at Hoylake as well. I know the course is a little bit different and you can't really put a lot of stock into that. But I think at 3-1, he's very live in this group. And I kind of think the pricing on Noren just kind of inflated him quite a bit. So I'll take Stenson, top Swede, 3-1.
I like it.
Trying to play Bjork there.
Yeah, I'd rather play Bjork as well at plus 225, but I understand the logic. And I didn't realize that Stenson is playing as well as he is. And if we do kind of harp on that distance isn't irrelevant, but it's less of a factor than we think about, and accuracy is up there. I mean, who's more accurate than Henrik Stenson's 3-wood? Even though he might need
Pat,
to...
What I was trying to explain was I was trying to play Bjork. Like, yeah, Bjork, the singer.
Oh,
and ads popped up.
From Iceland!
Yes,
Icelandic.
Icelandic. Yes.
The pride of Iceland, yep.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Bjelk? She was in that movie.
She's not doing too much.
Dancer in the Dark? Was that the name of that movie?
I'm not familiar with that.
Rob's the opposite of Bjork.
Dancer in the Dark, yeah. The 2000 musical drama film written and directed by Lars von Trier.
Jesus Christ,
Lars.
Pat.
Did you say
I gotta tell
2000?
you, you're gonna be my lifeline on the show. That's quite impressive.
Yeah, Lars von Trier had a great run, and it wasn't actually a great run. He had a great Oscars run. Him and Lasse Hallström in the early 2000s, just running through Academy Award nominations. Remember Chocolat? I think that was the Lasse Hallström one.
Yeah, that one. Yes, I do actually know that, Patrick. Yes,
yeah. I think Lars von Trier was Dogville, and one of them did Cider House Rules. I think. Cider.
Dude,
this is very impressive. This is really impressive.
It really is. Siskel and Ebert, who? It's Mayo now. He's in. You're out.
Yeah, no, it was Lasse Hallström who did. Just the Scandinavian directors. They were all over the place. Yeah, I just remember Dogville.
Any good movies you've seen lately, Pat? I haven't been to the theater since I, Tonya.
I haven't seen a movie in theater since the Bond movie, I think. Cust and I were going to go see Oppenheimer this week.
That actually looks pretty good.
It does.
It looks like it's going to do half the box office of Barbie, so everyone's just calling it Floppenheimer now.
Barbie.
Yeah, but what's half the box office of Barbie? It's probably still 50 million or something.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I think it was 58 million or something, which is I don't know if is great for. I don't know how much money they spend on Oppenheimer, but I don't know if 58 million's the opening weekend they were looking for.
I mean, it's bad timing, right? With Mission Impossible too, as well.
Barbie
it's not
got
the greatest.
banned in Vietnam. They're not down with Barbie.
Why? Is it to take shots?
Or are they not down with Ken?
Yeah, I was gonna say, does it take shots at Ho Chi Minh or something?
I have no clue, but I just read it. I was like, okay.
All right.
That's the deal.
So we got some extras. So Cam, you said you had 800 other bets. What are some of your other bets?
Questions. Brooks Koepka top 20 plus 105 aluminum.
Okay.
Ty Hatton top 20 plus 115. Are we there?
I like Hatton more than I like Fleetwood, but I guess if I was betting top 20, I'd probably want the Tommy top 20 because
I'm still going to throw Adam Scott in there, top 40 plus 125. Rob already talked about the Scheffler, top 5 plus 190, top 10 even. I love your Ben on bet, top 40. I might take a shot with Bjork and Lingmerth. I always like Richie Ramsey too, kind of falling under the radar.
Do you love Richie Ramsey because his name is Richie Ramsey? That's it? Just kind of like how I like Robert Rock and he doesn't wear a hat?
I love Rob Rock. Best lid in the game. His
hair is amazing.
Oh no, it's ridiculous. He should be in a barber picture. Pat, he has SEC hair and he's British. Bob, when you go down to Vegas, you see the guy in the Alabama thing, perfect part, just a big puff, nice little line. That guy's lid is just, I don't even know how you get it that crisp. It's beautiful.
You go into Top Cuts and ask for the Rock, but not the Dwayne Johnson. You want the Robert.
I'm really not feeling too well, Pat. Just a tip for everybody too. After hernia surgery, I didn't take a dump for 5 days, and now things have changed.
That's not healthy.
No, it's anesthesia, bro. It bungs you, but once the party's over, it's over. You're in big trouble.
Yeah.
And adding Curry to the mix was probably a stupid move.
Well, if you had to get it out, then it's a smart move.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the ultimate. I played different versions of this, but here is an ultimate to make the cut 11-man parlay. You ready for this?
Listening, yeah.
Dustin Johnson.
No, hold on. I want to text myself your parlay. Go.
Dustin Johnson. Bryson.
Yep.
Bobby Mack.
I like that.
Corey Connors.
What's with you and Connors? You love this guy. Eh?
He hits the ball straight down the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, he does. He's a great driver. Yep.
And if we're not putting a big emphasis on putting this week, then we're probably good to go. Ryan Fox.
Oh, I love the Fox, man.
Patty Harrington.
Patty, yep.
Denny McCarthy.
D. McCarthy, yep.
Ben Ann.
Love it.
Patrick Reed.
Ooh, you're throwing in the cheater.
Good. I want a guy who cheats to make the cut parlay. Absolutely.
He does what it takes.
Yeah.
Does what it takes.
He's going to go out there and earn that money for me. Kurt Kitayama.
Wow.
And Brian Harmon.
B. Harmon. Okay. Now that thing's got to pay box cards. 70 to 1?
It pays 90 to 1.
Yeah.
Now, that's the super version of it. I played one that was just 8 of them. No Reed, no Kitayama, no Harmon. And that paid that 20 something or 30 something to 1.
How do you think Corey Connors is going to do? Do you think he'll finish top 20?
Yeah, I think he might finish top 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I like him this week.
I like him. Yep.
I mean, for what I mean, he played. When you go back and look at the one that Morikawa won, which I think is going to be a closer comp to anything that we like, you basically throw St. Andrews at the fucking window. Like,
Yep.
Rory might play well at both, but great players play well at every course, so that's irrelevant. When you take a look at the rest of the players that were kind of inside the top 10 a year ago, like Cam Young and that sort of player, and then you take a look at was it Royal St. George's where Morikawa won? It was like Mac Hughes, Bobby Mack, like Corey Connors, Dylan Fratelli, like that type of player. Louis was up there.
Pizzola's buddy, Dylan Fratelli. Hey, we're up at the squash court next. That guy's glasses are too much. Dude, we're on the golf course. We're not playing racquetball.
Any first? Oh, I did want to ask you. You said about
First round leaders, Pat?
Yeah.
First round leaders.
Yeah, hit me with some first round leaders.
Adam Scott.
You love Adam Scott this week. Is it because you looked at the leaderboards?
He's a great first round.
You
Pat,
saw
take a look at his first round
2006.
statistics.
You saw 2014. You saw him top 10 in both, so you're all in.
Basically, yeah. And let's get another guy.
Xander for first round. 35-1 Xander first round.
If you go to a place that's open 365 days a year, there's a boost of Xander first round leader to 50-1.
Wow.
How many tournaments have we seen him get off to a hot start round 1 and 2 and then kind of fall off afterwards? I mean, it's pretty consistent theme for him.
What about Ryan Fox, Pat?
I mean, you're speaking my language now because I just love taking absolute like long shots. The one I was actually thinking about from the top of the board was Dustin, 40-1 first round leader.
You know what? That's a good if he's on, he could slay this course early. I agree with you.
And he's played well in like the opening few. I mean, he missed a bunch of putts at Oak Hill and then played really well in round 2. Or it was the opposite.
What about Hovland? He always comes out of the gate hot.
He does. I am so anti-Hovland this week. I'm anti-Hovland. I'm anti-Cantley. I'm anti-Xander. Just shoot those guys into the fucking sun.
I'm with you, man.
Bryson, 55-1 first round leader.
I think I'd rather play that Xander 50-1.
I will play that Xander one. That's
I
without
disagree. I'm actually I think Bryson, is actually, he could go. I kind of like Bryson. Pizzola might be onto something. Xander, you're right, though. He's one of those guys. He's a Thursday warrior, right? So, but I think Bryson DeChambeau can go low, too.
So we'll throw Chuck Bryson on there. Fox is only 75-1.
I don't care. I bet him to outright at 80. This guy could win the friggin' British Open, man. I love Ryan Fox. The guy's got all game. Pat, that price is crazy. He should be like 50-1.
No, he shouldn't.
Yes, he should.
No, he really shouldn't. Xander is 50-1.
I'll take Fox. Give me odds. I'll take Fox over Xander fucking shot.
Why do I have to give you odds why do I have to give you odds if you just said you think they should be the same? You just said they should be the same odds and now you want odds.
I'll take it for even money. I'll take it even money if we want to go
get plus something.
No, but you said if you think it should be plus something, then they shouldn't be the same odds now, should they?
You know what, Rob? Since I got a big fucking fat mouth, sold. I'll take Fox over Schauffele, you fucker. $100.
Done.
Kitayama.
That witness.
I would like 1.5 strokes.
No. We're doing straight up. You said they should be
straight.
You said they should be the same odds, Cam. You can't just take strokes afterwards. If they should be the same odds.
Yeah, you're right. But the difference is I need Xander to shit the bed on Sunday because he was there for a while. Fox fished T12, but he doesn't gag on Sundays like ZS does.
Yeah, he won't have the chance to gag because he's going to miss the cut.
So is your bet for the full tournament or just first round leader, which we were talking about?
What do you want? It'd be fair for a tournament, Pizzola. Let's do tournament.
Let's do tournament. I got to do tournament.
So what do we do? We either do cash or I go up to Wags or one of those fucking.
We'll figure it out,
and we'll fucking bet horses all afternoon long, and the beers and wings are on me.
Yeah, they changed. They don't have the buffet anymore. It's all a la carte at Woodbine. But we'll do a nice meal and bet some ponies.
Why is everyone shutting down buffets? God, man, I love buffets. It's choice.
You and Cust are all in on buffets.
Well, who the fuck is it? If I want like 7 different items, like when I go to the Chinese thing and they go dinner for 3, and I'm like, I don't want chop suey, motherfucker. I want like the beef and broccoli. Like they always put chop suey in. That is the shittiest dish. Like out of all the Chinese food, it's ghetto. Like no. Don't trick me with that. I usually do the switch. for like a pad thai, a curry, or something else, an extra $2. Like, get that stuff out of here, right? Pizzola, you got to admit though, buffet's nice because go to the carving station. I want a little bit of turkey. I want a little bit of roast beef. Give me some of this. Not too many carbs. Quality meats. Fuck, if they have oysters at a buffet, holy Christ, I'll break somebody's leg.
You called a Chinese guy a motherfucker for putting chop suey in your meal?
No, and I didn't mean it like that. Like, Visine Vince is my best friend. I'm just saying it's a real shitty move by the restaurant to always add chop suey. It's a low grade, like they should have a better item.
It's value for the restaurant to throw it in there. They got to make money somehow. They're not going to put everything that's good.
You think chicken balls and fucking fried shrimp?
Well, it's a very good point. It's a good point.
Chicken fried rice is actually the value of the place because they give you a whole big tin of it if you get the shrimp and chicken and the mix.
Just one more thing in terms of oysters at the buffet.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
You really got to question
the
grade of those oysters when you see them at a buffet.
And you pour vodka on them with a little bit of hot sauce and slide them down like Joey Chestnut. They're not going to serve you poison oysters.
Well, I'm not saying that they're going to be poison. That's not what I'm suggesting.
You ever gone to Rodney's Oyster House on King? Yeah, those oysters are top of the fucking food chain, bro. I could eat 100 of them. Just like an escalator.
I agree. But I got served.
And that's a buffet. They leave them out on the ice.
Oh, I see what you're saying. All right.
So,
fair enough.
Sorry, I don't mean to get this upset, but man,
it's
okay. Oysters are great. I'm actually going to go to the Adonis markets today. They got a box of Malbecs.
Yeah.
When I'm done this, I love shucking oysters.
I'm not suggesting oysters. I love oysters too. I think I don't know if Pat's deal is with oysters, but oysters at a buffet to me, that's like my cue. Stay clear, basically.
That was the point that I was trying to make. Is that if you want to go for oysters, go to like an oyster house or somewhere that will give you like. 6 of them or 10 of them.
It's about where they place them, though. If they're on,
it's not about where they place them. They're probably the old fucking oysters from out back. Like, yeah, give those on the buffet. And oysters can go. There's seafood. If not, seafood can go the other way real quick, and I don't want to be involved in that.
So, what's the dirtiest seafood then on a buffet?
Oh, lobster. Lobster's fucking disgusting. Trash of the sea.
I love lobster.
People do, but it's a fucking the pigeon of the bottom of the ocean.
Crab legs are a winner. I've seen guys put like people in headlocks for good crab legs.
Yeah.
Actually, scallops.
I'm all in on scallops.
I love scallops.
There you go. We agree. Scallops and add bacon too. That's your 2 fucking item parlay there.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if it's on a buffet.
That is a good parlay. See, I don't think I'd want that at a buffet either.
But
buffet, I don't trust buffet food. Why are they giving it away for so cheap?
I'm not a big buffet guy personally. I'd rather sit down.
Selling oysters at the Golden Corral. If you go to a place, it's usually pretty respectable. They have a guy who shucks them. There's an area of ice, and I know that they're not going to serve you poison. We're also going to be sued.
I would.
Come on, guys.
I mean, poison and getting food poisoning are 2 separate things, or just feeling like shit. Like, even if it's a bit off, seafood can just make you feel like crap for 2 days. I'm all in on breakfast buffets because you can't really fuck up breakfast. Like, even though the bacon's not 10 out of 10 bacon, you're just happy there's a pile of bacon.
Oh, yeah. You could fuck up breakfast with those powdered eggs that they try to call authentic eggs. That's a disaster.
You can skip on the eggs because you can get some sausage. You can get some link sausage.
Yeah, but the eggs are the staple.
No,
the eggs are a staple.
No, they're not. And most good buffets
and
have
you need rye bread and sourdough too. None of this other shit that they're like putting out there.
Most good breakfast buffets have like an egg station where someone will make you an omelet or
You're
scramble
right.
your
Yes.
eggs or do whatever.
Good
Yes.
Good
I
call.
love that.
Yeah,
Big
making
fan
that
of that.
omelet
What do
right
you
in
want in
front
your
of me.
omelet? Mushrooms, this? Yeah, that's
You know what I say, Pizzola? Just like Burger King. Run it through the garden twice. Let's go.
I have
Whatever you got, more.
Here are a few guys, first round leader, over 100-1 that I am considering placing some money.
I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned, I think, their names throughout the course of the show, so yes,
Actually,
go ahead.
you did. I texted your parlay. So Kurt Kitayama.
Yeah, he's 110-1.
Who else is another guy you're probably going to say? I'd have to say Patrick Reed's probably up there.
No, he's not. None of the guys in the Make the Cut parlay are over 100-1 as first round leader, except for Kitayama. No, he's like 75. He's the same odds as Ryan Fox's first round leader.
Patrick Harrington.
No, he's like 80.
Ben Griffin.
Ben Griffin,
Brian
200.
Harmon.
Brian Harmon's like 60 to 1 first round leader. The first round leader market is not good this week. Yeah. Ben Griffin's 200 to 1. My guy Thirsty Lawrence is 160 to 1.
See, dude, you think I got a Richie Ramsey problem? You got a Thurston Lawrence problem.
You mean the guy who's won 3 times on the Euro Tour in the past 12 months? Not the guy who maybe made a cut once?
Hey, you're being really hard on Richie Ramsey, but you're right. I like Lawrence too. He's come through for me.
Joust Luiten is like sort of the under the radar version of Alexander.
I love Juice Luiten.
Yeah, the Juice Lutener. Yeah, he's got the best Jerry curl in the biz. He's 140 to 1, and Daniel Hillier's 140 to 1. Will you take my Daniel Hillier versus Ryan Fox low Kiwi bet?
Ooh.
What are the odds on that?
What are you going to give me?
Why do I have to give you anything on the guy who's 280 to 1?
If I'm going to go straight up with Pizzola, you're going straight up with me.
I am
Hillier
not
versus Fox.
I didn't say that Daniel Hillier should be 75 to 1 to win this tournament. He's 300 to 1 to win this tournament.
Okay, so what do you want from me?
I'm trying to think. Well, Rob, what do you think would be the market on that? Because I can't find low New Zealand.
I can make a price for you here really quickly.
Fox should be about $1.50.
No, he's going to be more than that.
Fox against who did we say?
Daniel Hillier.
Come on, cut me some slack.
Why do I have to cut you some slack?
Because I'm not laying 200 in a fucking golf matchup. I can tell you that.
Daniel Hillier's 300 to 1 to win this tournament, Rob, and Ryan Fox is 90 to 1 to win this tournament.
Okay, so based off of the market prices right now, in a head-to-head, Ryan Fox would be somewhere around minus 225.
I'll give you minus 200, Cam.
Sold. So what are we doing? What's the cash amount now?
I don't live by you. We'll go 100 to me if I win, 50 to you if you win.
Can I send it through my bank? I've learned how to do all that stuff now.
Well,
I hope so. It's 2023.
Actually, I have PayPal too now. I've really stepped up.
You know,
I don't know what the fuck Venmo is, but
we don't have that in Canada. We don't have Canada Venmo. Venmo's not available in Canada.
Send me the money, Venmo. I'm like, what the fuck? It sounds like a lawnmower. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll get you PayPal or I'll just email you the money. Fuck.
That will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Best Bets Open Championship. Thank you all for watching. Cam, you're already in the draw for $2,000 because you subbed to the newsletter.
Please let me win. Please, I love $2,000. I got to pay for my furnace that broke down. Enter source called. Dring, dring. The money's due. I owe them $7,000.
Well,
broke on Christmas Eve.
Well,
coldest day of the year.
I hope that maybe, listen, I'm drawing, the names are going to be done by a random number generator.
I understand.
As I think Best is the one who's putting everything together of all of the ballots that go in. He has a good algorithm for tracking all this stuff. But you can rate and review the audio podcast on both to get 15 ballots in.
I enjoy it.
Do you know how to download podcasts?
Yes, I do, Patrick. Remember when you guys tried to screw me with the Zoom thing and I figured it out on my phone?
No, nobody tried. Nobody tried to screw you. Let's step back here. There was no screwing. It was you couldn't figure it out. No one tried to screw you.
Okay, just please. I know I talk a lot out of my ass, but this is straight up facts. You guys thought I was going to fail miserably, and I actually surprised you. I was in there, bing, bing, bing.
You're right. You were able to click on the link we sent you and download the Zoom app on your phone. We didn't screw you out of the Zoom app.
You're sounding it's like making a fucking piece of toast. Like there's a few other steps. But
no, it's actually as simple as me making. In fact, it's maybe easier for some people to download Zoom on their phone than it is to make toast. That's not an exaggeration.
Pat, do you accept personal checks?
Cam, before I let you go, Rob, you too. Hammer.bet, by the way, if you want to see mini putt loser Rob Pizzola over there.
Yeah, gagger.
Yeah.
You know what, Cam? The first watch along you did, you commented on how good my putting stroke was. You're pleasantly surprised.
I gave you credit, man.
You did. You credited me. I'll never forget that. True friend right there.
Those guys were ripping you, and I'm like, Pizzola's got good form. You just got to not be a Xander Schauffele on Sunday. Yes. You got to figure it out.
Now, I need someone there trailing me, telling me to calm down, take a breath. Yeah.
Oh, you need
a caddy.
You need what Cust had. The best I've ever seen Cust play. We went up to Cabot, and we all got caddies. Exactly. And he got this one guy who was just like, "Oh, Timmy boy, that's a great shot." Yeah. Oh, if he put it like somewhere near the woods, don't worry, Tim, my son, we'll find that over there for you. And Cus was like smiling and bouncing down the fairway.
Yeah. Caddies are huge. People don't understand. Like if you have I'm watching some of these events, Pat. I'm watching the Barbasol. Guy's like, he hasn't looked at the scoreboard. All that, like some caddies, like you got to be on top of things. Like remember when Tagala lost? Like, dude, hit a 3-wood. Like it's one of those things. Like I think it's kind of underrated. Like good caddies step up, and sometimes they tell people that things that they don't want to hear. It's part of the job.
For sure.
Now, Rob, at thehammer.bet, if you start a new show with yourself and maybe someone else who like loses down the stretch, you get John Vandeveld on the show or something. You can call it the
great man.
I
met him at the Masters. What a guy.
You can call it the Gaggers, and then you'd be really big on YouPorn too.
Oh God.
Gagger.bet. Pat, honestly though, John Vandeveld, I rode a cart with him at Augusta. One of the nicest guys. Him and Steve Stricker in the nice category. Top of the top. Great guy.
Does Stricker ever lose any of the Champions Tour
No,
events, or just win every single week?
Because he has great karma. He's nice to people and stuff and everything. That guy is as real as the day is long. I cleaned his golf clubs when I worked at Credit Valley when they had the CPGA. I didn't want to say this. It was him versus Mike Weir. I was cheering for Stricker. Like, go
that's because you're a traitor to our country, Cam. Thanks very much for admitting that.
Mike Weir.
No, it's obviously
Stricker was really nice. That's all I'm saying. Mike Weir's actually a pretty good guy, but I like Stricker more. That's all.
I did cheer for Shawn Michaels against Bret Hart.
What?
Up, so I'm also
Wow, that's so weird.
Yeah. You can go fuck yourself, Pizzola.
I agree. Pretty boy, you get the
Rob was hitting puberty and sexy boy Shawn Michaels was coming up.
Yeah,
see how it is.
Sexy boy.
It's true. I did like the sharpshooter, though. I'd like to put my friends in the sharpshooter. That was a banger of a finisher.
Everyone. That's par for the course that this guy likes Shawn Michaels. Like just.
I mean, I do enjoy Shawn Michaels myself, but he's no excellence of execution. Let's be real here.
Agree.
But I must say, if you are within 5 years plus or minus of my age, that if you didn't spend the 90s putting your friends in sharpshooters, what were you doing?
Exactly.
Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
Chris Jericho.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
WCW Chris Jericho, when he printed out the list of 1,004 holds and read them all out off dot matrix paper.
Yes.
He was so good on the mic. He was great.
He's got charisma.
Very good.
Outright bets, Cam. Who do you got so far?
Not many, Pat. It's only what is it? Tuesday today. Colin Morikawa. Ryan Fox. Sorry. What else am I doing? And there was one more that I thought I had too. Who the hell was it? Was it Koepka? I think I might have took Koepka on a boost.
All right. So we got, for me, Rob, I'll run these by you. I opened up a site on Monday morning that was hanging at 10-1 on Scotty Scheffler. So I bet Scheffler at 10-1. Morikawa at 35 and DJ at 40. And then I went with 3 bombs. Denny, 125-1 with the top 8. Kitayama 200-1 with the top 8. And that same book that had Scheffler at 10-1 also has Kim at 200-1. So I bet him too. And I bet Max Keither 75-1 and Sean Crocker at 90-1 for the Barracuda.
Oh, I love the crock pot. Yeah, he's all right.
I bet Scheffler as well, which is basically like a break even if he wins for me. I have Bryson in the 75-1 range, Corey Connors in the 90-1 range, Sam Burns, and Colin Morikawa.
You know what? Burns is actually going under the radar, Pizzola. He's been playing a lot, but like people aren't realizing, Pat, he looked pretty good the last few weeks.
I mean, he has Max Homa syndrome. Show me something in a major, and maybe I can get behind you.
Okay.
Got to show Pat something, or else he's not going to get behind you.
Am I going to bet Bryson DeChambeau because of you guys? I just don't.
I mean, I didn't bet Bryson, but I'm interested in some sort of market with Bryson. Maybe it's a head-to-head. Patrick Reed, Bryson, Sergio's not in this, I don't think, but just all these guys that people don't like. It was like Poulter for years. Grayson Murray is another one. Like, you just get good odds on head-to-heads and people against them because no one likes them.
Pat. At the Barbasol, he shit the bed on that, but I thought he was going to win.
He shit the bed. He was like 8 under through 10 holes on Sunday.
And then then he took a double and he was done. Like that tournament, you can't. Anyway, you're right. He was on fire early.
Well, Pat, if you want to bet on Bryson, you can ask Cam. He'll probably give you 3-1 on Bryson against Ryan Fox.
That's true.
His favorite
So
golfer.
What were our side bets again before I?
The best head-to-head of the week is I have Matthew Southgate against Alex Fitzpatrick. Sorry.
Oh, that's a great bet. You got Southgate versus A. Fitzpatrick?
Yeah, but because with Cuss, because Cuss was going on about he's very upset that everyone was just saying how Matthew Southgate is going to win this tournament and all this stuff, and I don't believe anyone ever said that.
No one said that.
Actually,
I've not heard that.
Picked Southgate, but That's a great bet.
Cust likes to argue with the voices inside of his head, I think.
I would tend to agree with you.
I'd
love
problems
to meet
too.
Cust.
I should defend Cust more because I got a lot of major issues myself. But so our bets, Rob, are
I got Xander Schauffele straight up against
Fox.
God,
and then
I'm a fucking idiot. Okay,
and then-
and with you, Pat.
I have
What do I got?
I have Daniel Hillier versus Ryan Fox at 2-1. So I win 100, you win 50.
Fair enough. Yeah, let's have fun.
Yep. Let's see. Ryan Fox missed cut. That's what I'm.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I'm
he's
doing.
in those to make the cut parlays. So how about he makes the cut and comes 74th? Or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Makes the cut and then just withdraws round 3. Even better.
Excellent news. They've guaranteed winners
fuck?
for all of us.
Yeah, you guys are such fucking shitheads. Anyway, whatever. It's all good. Pat, I miss you. It's been a while. Pizzola actually complimented you on your putting, but you got to figure out how to close the deal. You can't choke in a mini putt tournament.
I'll bring you out as caddy next time.
No, do I get 10%?
Yes, you would. I
about
did
20?
have a caddy, by the way, but after like 4 holes, he gave up on me. He was like he's like, yeah, breathe, it's okay. And then it just was too hot in Myrtle Beach, so he's just trying to find shade the whole time.
What's
basically.
the purse? Like if you won, what do you get? Like 5 dimes?
I'm competing as an amateur, so I actually cannot. I'm not eligible for it.
So I don't even get 10%.
Well, you'd get a fee for coming out there. We're not. I'm not going
You
to
pay for my hotel and some food, and I'll be your caddy.
Of course. That was the plan. That was the plan.
Excellent.
Why are you retaining your amateur status in mini golf? Are you trying to like make the
Thank
Olympics?
you, Pat. You need to get paychecks.
Like, is there any downside to
You're
turning
like
pro?
Aberg, man. You're on
Well,
the tour now. Get money.
I'm actually not, for one. First of all, I don't want to pay money to enter these competitions because I'm going to get smoked by these these pros are absurd. They played the same mini golf courses for 30 years.
Yeah.
They know exactly how to hit every single shot depending on the time of day. Like it's crazy. I could practice at 10 a.m. If I play at 3 p.m., the course is entirely different. I have no idea what I'm doing. So that's why I don't want to put money up to compete against these guys and come last.
Well, you know what I've noticed though too, Pizzola, like that's not fair. That you guys got to get with all the new young guys on tour. You need new stops that these guys haven't seen.
There's going to be some new stops.
You know
right
what?
here.
You
Putting
should start,
edge, I've heard.
You should start the live tour of mini putt and see what happens. Get the Saudis behind you. You'll be good.
Merge in 2 years, make a ton of money.
Exactly. Merge with them, and now everyone who joined the
Or
Rob,
you could,
Rob
you could step
Pizzola
into the
live.
clubhouse and come back in a hockey bag. Your choice.
That's the most likely scenario, I would say.
Cam Stewart, Rob Pizzola, go check them out both at SportsGrid and thehammer.bet. Follow them on Twitter as well. Enter that contest because I'm giving one of you $2,000. If you don't enter, you can't win, and it's free to enter. So I don't know. Sub to the newsletter. You can find all of the stuff down there for how to enter and how to get your ballots. Winner announced on Monday's show. Join the Listeners League, smash the like, and sub to the channel on the way out. Tomorrow, I am live with Toe, Tag, and Tambo at 9:15 a.m. Eastern to finalize everything for the Open Championship. So you best be there, okay, pals? I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!